everybody. Welcome back to the homestead.
Good to see all of you here. We have made it. We have had a lot of people contacting us about whether or not we were affected by the big storms that came through here a couple of days ago, I guess.
Right, yeah. It seems, I guess it has only been a couple days, but it seems like it's been a long time already. A lot has happened in those few days.
Yeah.
We were extremely blessed that most of the storms actually missed us.
Yeah, there were two major storm fronts that came through. One of them traveled just northeast of us, and the other was like traveling southeast, I guess. But it's like we were just right sandwiched in between. We didn't have any damage. But we know that there was considerable damage in many of the areas and some loss of life.
Right.
And so our hearts go out to those people who were affected by it and who lost loved ones. We're feeling badly for them, but we're also feeling blessed that we were spared.
Right.
And so that's kind of where we're at with that.
Before we get into too much, let's take a little time to thank all the people that are helping us today. Give some time for more people to get in here.
Yeah.
As always, our friends Rich and Shelly from Air to Ground Farms and Air to Ground Meats are helping us today. Thank you, Rich and Shelly. If you guys are in the Ava area, or if you want to take a road trip, if you don't mind going for a drive, come to Ava, Missouri. Check out their store, Air to Ground Meats. I guarantee it will be some of the best meat that you have ever had in your life. Everything that they raise on their farm is in their store,
yes.
Along with some other local things, some local coffee, local
yes.
cheese, local, baked goods.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything, and pretty amazing stuff in their store. So go check them out.
And actually, we have talked on and off just a little bit that Kevin has a laser that he engraves things with, products and stuff. And at this time, Air Ground Meats store in Ava is the only location that you can get some of those things. He hasn't done a bunch, but he has done some things, and they are available.
Maybe some more in the
store.
future as I have some free time.
Yeah.
If I have some free time. Free time is hard to come by.
Yeah. So also helping us today is our son-in-law, Gavin Reed, who is a realtor in our area, and we sure appreciate his help every Monday. And we would also love for you guys, if you are looking for land or a homestead or a property or a house in our area, to make sure you reach out to him. Right. He does a fantastic job.
Yeah, he grew up in this area. His family's in this area. They farm around here. So Gavin knows everything you need to know about how to find the perfect place in this area.
Yeah.
Gavin is married to our oldest daughter, Grace, who is actually very close to graduating college and getting her teaching degree.
Yes.
She's doing her student teaching this year, and she's really excited. She wants to be an elementary school teacher, so we're very excited about that and very proud of her.
Yes, she is hoping to teach second grade.
Right.
That's her hope
to
do. And actually, let's just spill the beans. She was also just recently accepted into graduate school.
Right.
And so she's going to go right into her graduate education while she teaches full time.
Right.
And apparently she said she thinks she'll be able to get that done in a year and a half while also teaching. So that's awesome.
She got her smarts from someone. I'm not sure who.
Grandma.
I don't know. I do well with cows. If that tells you anything.
We do all right. We do all right. So we've had some things going on the homestead the past week. We have. It has been a fun week on the homestead, actually. Despite all of the bad weather, it has been actually a pretty exciting week. Eventful.
Yeah, one little setback, which we'll talk about, but for the most part, a very productive and eventful week.
Yes.
So we have actually had 4 calves born on the homestead in the last, maybe not quite week, about 10 days. One of them you guys saw on a recent video. At least I hope you did. If not, go check that out. Our very first calf of the season was born to our cow that we call Peppermint. She had a heifer calf.
Mhm. Such a beautiful calf.
It really is.
Man.
So all of these are the first calves now out of our new bull, Watson. It's always a little nerve-wracking waiting to see, like, did he do his job? Was he really as good as we thought he was going to be? And I'm telling you, so far, all of his calves are great looking calves. And we've had, calving season seems to be going bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. Second calf, actually, let me try to take this away. Sorry. Our second calf, we talked a little bit about Sweet Pea looking like she was ready to calve like any day. And after we filmed that video, the very next day, she disappeared to calve as well. And we were actually not able to find her. We did a lot of looking. Yeah. We weren't able to find her to make sure that she was okay. And then all of a sudden, the next day, she reappeared, but without her calf. So we spent quite a bit of time looking for her calf. We didn't find it initially. Based on her behavior, we made the assumption that it probably hadn't survived. And so we did end up finding her calf, and it was dead. It was a little heifer. Yeah. And we're not really sure what happened. Sweet Pea was a first-time mom. She may not have known what to do. Right.
When we found it, it still had the sack on it that it's born with. And normally the mom will eat that
lick it off.
Pull it off. So we're not sure why she didn't. We're trying very hard to not hold that against her for this year because this was her very first calf. So we're kind of giving her a pass this year to see what happens with future calves. Otherwise, the calf looked like it should have been a perfectly viable calf. Yeah. And she seemed to have motherly instinct because the way we actually ended up finding it is she kept going back to it, even though it had passed away. Yeah. She kept going back to it to look at it, which, cows kind of grieve when they lose a calf. We've learned that over time, that they really do kind of grieve. They understand that the calf is dead.
Yes.
But they kind of go back to it kind of to grieve its loss.
Right.
So,
yeah. So that was calf number 2.
That was calf number 2.
Also a heifer.
Right. But we've had 2 more after that.
Yes. Our cow.
Here's all 3 of them that we have currently.
Yeah, our cow Beauty, who is the main cow in this photo. She's the cow on the right, and then her calf right next to her, right there. That was our 3rd calf born, and it is also a heifer. We don't have a closer picture of her. And then the 3rd calf, or the 4th calf, the 3rd living calf, is let me see. It's not working like I had wanted it to. There we go. Delayed reaction. So that is Dark Nose's calf, and she had a little bull calf.
Right.
So we've had 3 heifers, 1 bull calf, and but because one of the heifers died, we're left with 2 heifers and 1 bull, and that's good.
Right. Yeah,
that's good.
We're really happy with that so far.
Yeah.
It looks like there are a few other of our cows that are starting to look like they're going to calve soon. So we're excited about that. I think it's going to be a really good year.
I hope so.
What we've done now after we couldn't find Sweet Pea, what we've actually done is we've moved the cows to an area where we can keep a much closer eye on them. Normally we allow them to calve in what we call our bottomland area. It's actually partially topland and partially bottomland.
Our largest
but it's like 60 acres.
Yeah.
And they have the ability to kind of go off and hide. And some of that land is very hard to get to.
Yes.
We can hike it, but it takes a lot of time and effort.
Right.
And so that's why she was able to hide in a way that we weren't able to find her. So we've now moved them to a smaller paddock that's probably like 10 acres.
Yeah.
And that way we can keep an eye on them a little bit closer.
Right. John Allen said it could have been a stillborn. And that's very true.
It very well could have been.
There's no way for us to find that out.
Right. Right.
But,
so we're hoping next year she'll have another calf and everything will be fine and we'll be able to keep her. But we do have a policy that if a cow loses a calf, or doesn't have very good motherly
Yeah,
instinct a
exactly.
couple of years in a row, that cow needs to go, because it's just costing us money then to keep that cow around.
Yeah. And another exciting thing from this week is that on Thursday, we decided it was much too beautiful and calm of a day to stay around here.
Right.
And just work all day.
Right.
So we just went to the lake.
Yeah, we decided it was a gorgeous day to go fishing. We had been kind of watching some of the Facebook groups that we belong to about fishing, and saw that people were starting to get some white bass. So we decided to take a day to go to the lake, and there we are. Look at that. We caught some white bass. We went to the lake, took the boat out for a few hours, and it was just a gorgeous, gorgeous day. It was. It started out as a gorgeous day anyway. By the end of the day, the wind had really picked up. It was actually white capping on the lake, so we didn't get to stay out as long as we would have liked to.
Right.
But it did end up being a very good day. You can see me there with a white bass. We only ended up catching 4. There they are. The biggest one was 14.5 inches.
Yeah, and even though Kevin got 3 out of the 4, my fish was the biggest of the day.
That's true.
It was 14.5 inches, white bass. So I kind of won.
Yeah. And actually, that is the very first white bass Sarah has ever caught in her life.
And it's the first time I've ever caught a fish casting. Yeah. So that's exciting.
Sarah didn't grow up in a family that did a lot of fishing.
Yeah. Actually, my dad fished, but he did it differently. My dad had kind of a charter boat that he took out on Lake Michigan and did like deep lake fishing,
right? For
the big salmon, the big trout,
right?
And so that is a completely different style of fishing than you grew up doing,
right?
And so I didn't have a whole lot of experience with bank fishing or any of the really smaller freshwater fish,
right? And
neither of us have you ever gone saltwater fishing? Did you go?
Yeah, a couple times when we lived in Texas.
Yeah, I've never done that, but we had a great time.
Right.
We had such a great time.
It was a good time. You know what they say? A bad day of fishing is still better than a good day of work.
And you know,
there's a lot of truth in that.
We have joked so much about not catching any fish, which up until Thursday, it really was pretty much true. So we're excited that maybe we are learning the lakes around here a little bit better.
Right.
And we can actually bring home some fish.
Right.
And that
even
is
if it's only 4.
Hey, it was.
Hey, those were 4 good sized fish, and I can tell you, those 4 fish are probably like a dozen of what we normally
the
catch.
bluegill.
so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, we've caught some and kept some puny bluegill just because we were desperate to have some fish. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Right.
Yeah. On our last video, so we talked about the calves. We also talked about our geese that are starting to lay and they're sitting on their eggs.
Right.
And what else do we talk about? Oh, no, what else do we talk about? I'm thinking of our video for this coming Saturday.
Oh, don't give it away.
I'm not gonna.
We talked about the bull and everything.
Oh, that gate and stuff. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions that, we didn't end up answering on the comment section of our video, go ahead and put that in the comments here, and we'll start answering some of those questions. And then at 6:30, I don't know what time it is. Okay, so in 15 minutes, we'll just have like an open Q&A.
Right.
We do have a few questions already that are flagged for us. So unless you have something else to discuss, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Neither of us are Irish, so we don't celebrate. But
we did when we were younger, but now
I didn't. I mean, in school we did, but
now we're old people. So the days of celebrating every holiday is just kind of
whatever. It's fun for those who do. And
yeah,
that's awesome.
Absolutely.
For them. Yeah. So let's start taking some questions here.
Okay.
There is one here from TW Marks.
PW.
Oh, I'm sorry. PW Marks. What is the name of the company where you buy a lot of your garden seeds, like the Jetstar tomatoes, Mammoth peppers, etc.?
So Both of those, I believe, are, well, the Jetstar's for sure are a hybrid. I believe you're talking about the Mammoth jalapenos, which are also a hybrid. Usually we get those from either Johnny's or Burpee's.
Which ones?
Both of those.
Oh, okay.
Right?
For sure, the Jetstar tomatoes.
Right.
Last year, the Mammoth jalapenos we actually got from Sue's greenhouse.
Oh, that's true. We got
those
locally,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So, but the Jetstar for sure. I think this last year we got them from Johnny's.
Mhm.
But really, I mean, especially as we're getting into this time of year where a lot of places might be sold out of things,
Mhm.
just jump online and just Google Jetstar tomatoes, and
Yeah.
you'll find plenty of places that are selling the seeds for them.
Yeah. And so when we're buying seeds, we buy quite a few from Totally Tomato, as Kevin said. We buy quite a few from MI Gardener as well. And then here and there, if there's something specific I'm looking for, like I just Google it, like you said,
Right.
and then go to what I feel would be a reputable seed company and just buy
Right.
those seeds.
Right.
Yeah. From Dana Binkley for Kevin, greetings from your friend in Benton County. I bought the Real Link security system after I saw yours. Do you notice that there is a 7-second delay before your phone gets notified?
I guess to be real honest, if you're talking about the one that we have out in Wattlesville, I don't have the notifications on my phone. I do check it from time to time, but because there's so much action out there, I have it turned off as far as like alerting me every time there's some motion. But we do have other Real Link cameras, and I haven't noticed a whole lot of a delay. I mean, it may be a few second delay because it has to, basically go from the camera to your router to wherever to send a message to your phone. So yes, there is a delay, but it's not a huge delay. We do subscribe to the cloud service so that the recordings are backed up, so I can go check. So if a delay is a little late, or if there's a delay in getting an alert, we can go check it and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think
Sarah's yelling at me because I keep moving at the table. I'll try hard. If the camera's shaking, it's because I like to put my arms on the table.
Yeah. I think the concern, and I did see this kind of in the comment section of one of our videos, is that if there's such a long delay, then you don't have, you're not notified soon enough to run out there and take care of a problem or something like that. But
yeah,
maybe call them or email them and see if that's normal or not.
Right.
Yeah. From Doc, love your content. New quail owners here. I see you have had some of the Winona cages, so that's a good starter. Are those good starter cages?
They are. I have enjoyed having them. To me, the homemade cages that I've made myself, I like a little bit better, to be honest. And I do have videos about how to make the homemade cages. But yeah, they're good cages. Absolutely. They have the egg rollout. I just didn't like really how short they were. I would prefer them to be just a little bit taller.
What do you mean by short?
Like the height of the actual cage.
Okay, because there are multiple layers of the cages.
Correct.
Okay.
And so other than that, they're great cages. If you're not up for making your own, those are absolutely what I would use. And especially for breeders, I think those are really good. For grow outs, I prefer a larger cage so I can just grow a ton of them at once.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're good cages.
We're going to talk about your hair again.
Oh gosh.
Giggles Mama is asking me when I'm going to take the scissors to your hair. I will when he wants or if he does. Honestly, when we first met and got married, Kevin's hair was as long as mine, actually, and it looked really nice.
Of course, that was 105 years ago.
Right. So I really don't care what his hair looks like. And
it's
not that big of a deal for me.
I'll be honest, it started this winter as just kind of a joke where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to be lazy and not have you cut my hair. And then I just started being like, you know what? I kind of don't mind it getting longer.
Look at these curls. That's so cute. Yeah.
See? And as long as she thinks it's cute,
that's fine.
Then I'll keep it.
Whatever.
When it starts to get hot out, there's a good chance it's going to come off. But until then, if I can tuck it up in my hat and I'm not too embarrassing on Sunday morning when I have to take my hat off at church, then, we'll see where it goes.
No biggie. Okay, from Georgie Clifton. Hi from Suffolk, Virginia.
Hello.
How do you adjust the sprinkler heads on watering systems for raised beds? Congratulations on the new babies. Thanks.
Adjust the
Yeah. I'm thinking like the stream, like how.
Yeah. So the sprinkler heads that we have are a fixed flow rate.
Mhm.
If you have the adjustable ones, they can be difficult. Because especially if your water pressure fluctuates, it might be like a never ending battle, which is why, and I feel kind of bad about this, but the ones that I've recommended everybody buy are what are called pressure compensating, which means they all come on at exactly the same pressure. Unfortunately, the company that I always bought them from on Amazon
promptly never carried them again.
Right. Like I did a video about how to do them and sold out, and they've never restocked them.
Yeah.
And so luckily I bought extra because that's just the kind of person I am. When I find something I like, I buy a bunch of them. But if you have the kind that are adjustable, you just have to play around with them until you get them right. If you have the kind that are pressure compensating, then what I recommend is putting a shutoff valve at the end of every row, and then you can adjust that
Right.
valve, and
That's how we do it.
That will adjust the entire row.
Right. That's how.
So it really depends what kind you have.
Yeah. Let me see here. Annette Hampel. Hi, Kevin and Sarah. Where did you get the cattle panel for your buff geese house?
We got it from our local feed store.
Farm store.
Right, which is called Hirsch.
Yeah, Hirsch. But we've also been able to get them in the past from MFA.
Right, you can get them at Tractor Supply.
Yeah. Most farm stores will carry cattle panels. You can just ask them about it.
Right.
From Wholehearted Homestead, what size boat do you have?
We have a 16-foot. It's a Tracker Deep V. Yep.
Angie Norheim. How do you protect new heifer calves and bull calves from predators? Do you have a stable?
We do not have a stable, and we really don't have any predators that are. Well, we don't have any predators for calves.
Right.
There is believe it or not, the biggest predator around here, you might think it's coyotes. We have coyotes, we have bears, we have bobcats. None of those mess with calves. The only real predator that we have for calves, which luckily we haven't had an issue with, is an invasive species of buzzard that has moved vulture that has moved into our area. That will actually start attacking the mom as she's having a calf. We have the previous owner of our farm had some issues with those vultures. Actually, the year that we bought this place, we haven't had any issues since then. So, but that's the only real predator that we have.
Right. From Jeannie Melier, have you ever canned fish? No, we've never canned fish. I think we'd rather bread them and fry them. And
right.
No, we haven't.
Right. We wish we would catch so many fish that we would have the opportunity to try new things, but we don't.
Yep. Dana Young asked, what brand and model is your chipper?
What brand? It is a Troy built. I have no idea what the model is. It's nothing special. I bought it probably 15 years ago, probably.
Yeah. It's only okay.
Yeah. It'll do like a 3-inch stick. I really could use an upgrade. But this is what I have, and that's what I'm using. So
right. Tempest Solemn asked, how are your citrus trees?
They're doing okay.
They're doing okay. I gave them a big old
one
prune.
of them back there right now.
Yeah.
The other one's over there, so I'm not going to turn everything around. But that down there, right? Hold it there. That's a patchouli plant.
Yeah.
If you've never seen a patchouli plant.
Yeah. Kevin loves patchouli. This year, I'm going to plant it out in my herb beds just for the summer. And then I'll dig it back up.
because they'll die in the winter.
But I think it will do a lot better out there in some real dirt.
Yeah. The citrus trees, we had to do some major pruning on them last year, so they didn't flower. So I don't think we're going to get any fruit this year. The year before, we actually got, I think, 15 or 16 tangerines off the tangerine tree.
Mm-hmm.
We've yet to get any key limes off the key lime tree, but
it blossomed just right on one branch, and it has like 3 or 4 little
okay.
flower.
So we may get a few key limes
fruits,
this year,
maybe, if they don't just fall off. So
right?
They've done that,
right?
Joseph Hansen. Hey guys, we live in Fordland.
Hey, that's where we
nearby.
Yeah, that's where we take all of our animals to be processed is in Fordland.
Just moved here a year ago. Was wondering when you put your sweet corn in the ground. Sweet corn has a really long planting season here.
Right.
I think you can plant it anywhere from May until mid-August.
Right.
But if you want to know for sure, you can search online like Missouri vegetable planting calendar, and one of the big universities here has a fantastic planting calendar and planting information, and it gives like based on your region in Missouri. I almost said Wisconsin, then Minnesota. Why would I say Minnesota?
I have no idea.
Anyway, you can find that information there. It's a fantastic little thing.
The one thing to keep in mind is even though we are in southern Missouri, technically, according to the planting calendar, we're in central because of elevation. Because of elevation. Yep. So always go off central Missouri for this area.
Yep. From Miss Venny, question: will you guys be at the farmers market this year? Hoping to get Amish paste and Juliette's from you.
We are not going to be at the farmers market this year. We've talked about this, I think, in a video and on our last live stream.
Yep.
Obviously, I know not everybody sees everything, but no, we have decided we are not going to be doing the farmers market anymore. We're putting a lot of time and effort into our cattle now, and spending 4 or 5 months doing plant starts to sell at the farmers market was just not paying off for us in the way that we'd hoped. So we're still doing all of our seeds for ourselves and for a few friends. But other than that, no, we won't be doing plant starts to sell this year.
Yep. Okay, Anna Billings.
But if you are in our area, let me tell you this. The place we recommend is called Sue's Greenhouse. It's an Amish greenhouse in Norwood, Missouri. She has amazing plants, amazing prices, and that's where we recommend you go for your plants.
Yep. Anna Billings is asking, when will you get your next lot of pigs? They are so cute. Well, the piglets are due to be born in April.
Right.
And so we should get them in June.
Right. Yep. So we should be getting more in June.
Yep. Priscilla Atencio. Hi, Sarah and Kevin. I'm wondering, what did you make with the New Mexico seeds? I know you grew them. I think they're probably asking about hatch chilies.
Hatch chilies?
That was several years ago. What did we do with them?
Honestly,
I think that I canned them like green chilies that you can buy at the store in the little jars. I think I canned them. I pressure canned them in 4-ounce jars.
Yeah. It's been a few years since we grew them, though.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I know we definitely roasted some of them.
We roasted all of them before I canned them.
Yeah, but I mean, just to eat like fresh as well.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vicky Martin said, so sorry about the loss of your baby heifer, but my question is, do you bury the little thing, or what is it you do?
To be honest, we just let nature take its course.
Yeah.
And we just leave it where it is, and the wild animals take care of it.
Yeah.
So no, we do not bury any of the animals, or like when we butcher animals, we don't bury things. We just put them out in the woods,
and the wildlife takes care of it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like we have a super chat from Jesse Mann. Thank you, $4.99. Just wanted to say thank you for the videos and the live streams. May God bless you and your family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you as well.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh. Confusion. Jeannie Malier asked, have you planted anything outside of the greenhouse yet? Yes.
Yes, our brassicas.
Well, we planted cauliflower
Right.
But I also have cabbage yet to plant
And lettuce.
we bought some lettuce starts. So we're going to do half of one of our raised beds in lettuce starts. And then the other half, we're going to plant seeds. So we'll have like a longer harvest.
Right.
Yeah. So yes,
yeah.
we have.
Yes. We're right on the edge of where we can start to do some planting.
Really, March 15th is the very earliest that we can plant those types of things.
Right. Today, honestly, this morning when we woke up, it said the low was supposed to be 32 last night. And when we woke up this morning, it was 22.
But that's very common here, which is why it's so hard for us to raise plants for the farmers market, because in our little microclimate in the winter or, early spring, it's almost always 10 degrees cooler here than is predicted.
Right.
And so that just makes it hard for us to move plants outside and all that kind of thing. So Lana is asking what kind of supplements Kevin is using that helps to lower blood pressure.
So, a few things that I take on a daily basis. I take a methylated B complex, which helps with blood pressure. And then for years now, for probably 7 years, 7 years, I take grape seed extract, not grapefruit seed extract, grape seed extract. And that helps, a ton with blood pressure.
Yeah.
Those are the two main things that I take. I also take a krill oil supplement and a fish oil supplement every day. Whether or not those necessarily help with blood pressure may be debatable. They're just good for you. But definitely the B vitamins and the grapeseed extract are mainly what I take.
Betty Strout asked, did fruit trees make it through the winter okay? It looks like all of them did, and they're all starting to get ready to blossom. And there is one tree that ended up dying, I think, sometime last year that I need to replace. I believe it is a sour cherry. So I want to replace that this year. If not this year, then next year. But all of them looks like they've come back. I'll tell you, though, that our mulberry bush, or whatever you want to call it, I don't see signs of life there yet.
We had one definitely die last year.
The mulberry?
Yeah.
Yeah. The grapes don't have any growth on them yet. The blackberries do. The raspberries don't. I think it's just not time for everything yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Kat McCary, how long do you water your mineral buckets and how often?
So we water them typically about 6 or 7 minutes per row in our greenhouse. And we would do that every morning. So really, you want to water them until you kind of see some water coming out the bottom.
Yeah. A Little Dry Creek Ranch, on your garden beds, would I need to put a flow reducer if I connect to a spigot? It's from a well and has lower pressure than normal.
Not necessarily. You may want to put one. I do have one on ours, and I don't remember offhand. I want to say it's 20 or 25 PSI. I don't remember for sure. You can always just adjust it either with one of the valves or even at your spigot if it seems like it's, too much pressure. But
what will happen if there's too much pressure?
Honestly, if you have the pressure compensating things, it doesn't really do a whole lot. It's just harder on all of the little connections and stuff.
But as we talked about, those are hard to get, and so people probably don't have them.
Right. So,
is it just safer just to put
it's just safer to have one on to reduce the pressure a little bit, but you can just not turn your faucet on all the way, and it basically does the same thing.
Yeah. From Tim Ring, hello from West Virginia. We got chickens last year, and they have given us eggs religiously all winter long.
Good for you.
Today, when I gathered eggs, 2 of them were enormous. What causes this?
First of all, probably double yolkers.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that will happen shortly after a chicken has either molted and taken some time off from laying, and then kind of restarted and things are just kind of getting going again. A lot of times they'll lay some really small ones and then they'll lay some really big ones. But sometimes they just lay big eggs for no reason.
Yeah. When we first started raising chickens, we had, I think, 4 Buff Orpingtons, and they gave us double yolkers a lot.
Right.
Yeah. But we don't get them very often from the chickens that we have right now.
No, the breasts, they don't lay double yolkers very often.
Also, I remember as a kid occasionally finding double yolkers in the eggs that we bought from the store.
Right.
But that just doesn't happen anymore.
They probably throw them away now if they find them. Like, they're probably so regulated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What
a shame.
We bought eggs. As a kid, we bought eggs from a farm down the road. And
you did?
We got double yolkers all the time, yeah. Felkers, I think that was their name. Huh. Yeah.
Wholehearted Homestead asks, do you guys have a basement? And if so, do you have a sump pump? Have you done any research on sump pumps?
We do not have a basement. We have a crawl space under our house here. We do not have a sump pump, although I grew up in Wisconsin. The house I grew up in, we had a basement and a sump pump because it did flood.
I think we had one too. I just thought, Bubba, no.
Oh, the dogs are seeing something.
There's birds out there.
Oh, there's birds. There's a blackbird. It's
they're really starlings. But.
Yeah. So growing up, we always had a sump pump. Here we do not. What we have here is actually because we did have an issue, and actually the video we have coming up next week, I talk about this a little bit. We had an issue with water under our house after we had our crawl space put in. So we have a French drain, and we had to have it encapsulated, which means there's like extra thick plastic on the floor and the sides of the crawl space. Mm-hmm. But we don't have a sump pump. I would look at what's kind of normal in your area as far as doing research on that.
Yeah. Cheryl Cunningham asks, do you take the sprinklers down during the winter?
We don't, but we do make sure the water lines are drained out. Mm-hmm. So whatever the low point is on the water lines, I make sure that all the water gets drained out through that, and we haven't had any issue.
Right.
But we don't take the whole system down in the winter.
Let's see. Oh, we already, I'll just put this up here. Georgie Clifton, I think we just answered your question. How do you winterize them? We just drain them.
Right.
Our dogs are starting to get spunky. So if they start making noise.
I'm going to let them out real quick.
Okay.
So that they don't bother us.
Yeah. Let's see. We can move on here. Dizzy Lizzie asked, what kind, color, percentage, and size info can you tell us about your greenhouse shade cloth? The details on the greenhouse shade cloth.
It's a 50% shade, right?
Mm-hmm. It's black. I think you can get them in different colors, but we just got ours in black.
Right.
And it is, I don't know what size it is. It's exactly the size of the top of our greenhouse.
So our greenhouse is 20 by 60. And I think the shade cloth, I don't remember what the size
I have no idea.
But it's 60 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can talk about this again. We talk about this a lot, actually, but we know we have got new people here.
Right.
Busy Bee Enid asked, what weed fabric width ml do you use?
Right. So we use 15-foot width,
mm-hmm.
which is hard to get online if you need to have it shipped. Probably the biggest you can probably get is like 6 foot to get shipped.
Right.
The stuff that we use, I don't remember offhand what the mill is, but it's called DeWitt Sunbelt.
Mm-hmm.
The Sunbelt is the one that we use. To us, that's the one that has worked the best.
Dana Young, greetings from Thomas Mills, Pennsylvania. This question is for you. It is so hard to find women's work boots. Would you share the brand you wear? Well, I've been wearing for every day for the longest time. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the brand. Let me get up. But talk about the brunt boots.
Right. So the brand that I have been wearing now for the last probably 6 months or so is called Brunt. And they are amazing. They are the best work boots that I've ever worn. And they they do offer women's as well.
Women's
not
sizes.
as many, but they are really, really good work boots. The thing I like about them is there's like no break-in period. The day you get them, they're just as comfortable as if you've been wearing them for 3 or 4 months.
This is embarrassing. Mine are so worn that I can't even find the Timberland. So these are.
We'll put them in the Amazon
They
shop.
are. We have a category of like in our Amazon shop, like what we wear or whatever.
Right.
And I do have these listed.
You can tell she actually wears them.
Yeah. I actually love these so much that I was. Oh, stop. They don't smell bad at all. I've been wearing these pair for 3 years. I like them so much that I have like 3 pair in storage because
I've rubbed off on her.
Well, I find things that I like, and then like the next time around, you can't find them anymore. So I panicked and bought like 3 extra pair. So I love those. You can check them out on our Amazon shop. They're super duper comfortable.
Right. Once you get that, this is a bad connotations, but once you get that prepper mentality,
yeah,
it affects all parts of your life.
Yeah,
including the shoes you buy. Apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Cheryl Cunningham asks, is your sprout house insulated?
Yes, it is. It's insulated. The walls and the ceiling, the ceiling is insulated.
Yep.
So, yes, it is, and it has helped a ton.
Yes. Randy Sapansky asked, how do the high tunnels do in the wind?
Actually, really, really well. We're actually going to touch on that in the next video that we have coming out. So I don't want to talk about everything, but it made it through this last storm with 70-mile-an-hour winds with no problems at all.
That's right. Betty Strout asked, where would I get some tangerine seed to plant or some plants from? We didn't plant ours from seed. We got them from a company. Do you remember what the company name was?
I don't. It was on Etsy, actually.
Oh, huh.
So,
we already did that one. Sorry.
The type of tangerine that we have, I think, is called like Satsuma or something like that. So that's the type of tangerine tree we have.
Okay. Oh, gotta see your shirt. Margaret Duncan asked, what does Kevin's shirt say? Tomato? Congratulations on the babies. Thank you.
Tomato whisperer. And I'm hoping to soon be tomato eater again. So, a couple months.
Paul Chauvin asked, he said, hi again, love your channel. Thank you. Besides tomatoes and peppers, what else do you find does better in the greenhouse and under the shade cloth?
Those are the main things that we actually think do better. The thing that we like about growing in the greenhouse is that it allows us to get a jump start on the season. So we've always tried to kind of plan 2 seasons out in the garden. Like we want 2 harvests of green beans, but it's hard to do here. So we can do 1 in the greenhouse and 1 out in the garden. And that is an easier way for us to get 2 kind of extended seasons. But as far as actually doing better, I think tomatoes and peppers are the only thing I would say do actually better, don't you?
I'm also thinking lettuce because once it starts getting warm, especially fall lettuce, fall and overwinter lettuce, because the weather here in the fall, it stays in the 90s into September.
Right.
And so it's hard to like get your lettuce going and growing outside, but it is easier in the greenhouse, and the sun is so much less intense that it doesn't get burned as easily as it does outside. Last fall, we did plant some lettuce out in the greenhouse or out in the garden in the raised beds, and it just burned up and bolted.
Right.
So
yeah.
Let's see what else. Even though we kind of touched on this, Sandy Daniels asked, where do you get your seeds for the paste tomatoes? M.I. Gardner has the Amish paste, and Salvador Select was from Seed Savers Exchange.
Right.
And so basically, M.I. Gardner. And really, if there's a variety that you're specifically looking for, Just Google it and the seed companies will come up.
Right. And now the dogs want to come back in.
Of course. Deborah Toffelmeyer asked, hi, everyone from Ontario, Canada. How are you doing with your low carb or carnivore diet? We are doing great. Kevin did carnivore for the month of January.
Right,
and
which I
then
do every year.
returned back to low carb, keto.
Right.
We don't really concentrate. See, the keto portion of the keto diet really pays a lot of attention to fats, like making sure that you get enough fat. While we don't limit our fats, our good fats, like we don't cut it off of our steaks or our pork chops, and we cook with butter and lard and coconut oil and stuff. He's okay. You're okay.
There's Bubba.
So basically what I'm trying to say is we are definitely low carb. We don't shy away from the fats, and we're doing great. Occasionally we feel a little stifled, I guess, with variety, but we just kind of get over it.
Right.
And we feel great. We're doing great. We're able to maintain our weight and lose a little bit along the way. And I don't know, it's doing great. Our health is wonderful. So
yeah, we get our blood work done every 6 months, and it's been really, really good.
Yeah.
Bubba's trying to show off because he got a bath today.
That's why he's so full of energy. He's still reacting from the bath.
Yeah.
His hair is kind of flipping all over the place.
He's shedding a little bit.
Yeah.
But
it was spa day for the dogs today. Toenails and baths.
Right.
Yep.
So he's trying to. Oh, all right. And now Rosie wants to come up here too.
Come here, Rosie. Over here. Come here. Over here. Get up here.
You guys don't get to see our dogs very often, but we have beagles, Rosie and Bubba.
Rosie's like my dog, and Bubba is Kevin's dog.
Right.
And Rosie gets jealous when
Bubba's the best dog ever. Rosie's the worst dog ever.
She's not the worst. She's a good girl, except she has separation anxiety.
Right.
And can be naughty, so she has to go in a kennel when we're gone.
Yeah.
And she hates it.
All right. You want to get down, Bubba?
This has to do with quail again. Jim Fershey. Hi from Charleston, West Virginia. I've been revisiting your videos lately as I've started getting into jumbo Coturnix quail. Do you prefer raising them in indoor hutches or outdoor setups?
So when we tried to raise them like in the hoop coop, it just didn't work out very well for us. I don't know exactly what you mean by indoor hutches. I guess we've always kept them under cover. So my preferred thing was to have them in the bigger cages that I made. They're up off the ground. They still have wire bottoms, but we keep them under a lean-to. So they're definitely protected, but they're on wire. Quail are pretty messy.
Yeah, they sure are. Tempest Solemn asked, how goes the plan to raise guard geese for the chicken mow?
So the geese that we have currently are in Wattlesville, and they're out there with the ducks and the chickens that we have in Wattlesville. We do have some new geese coming in just a couple weeks, actually. Yeah. I think it's the second week of April that they're supposed to be delivered. We're going to be switching. Well, not switching. We're doing a second breed of geese. We'll talk about that in an upcoming video. But and those will be in the chicken mode. Yeah. So
our current geese are sitting on their eggs.
Correct.
Yep.
And they are really guard geese at the moment because
they're extra guardy.
Right. They get pretty testy when they're sitting on eggs.
Yeah. They're good geese overall, but they're just protecting their nest.
And that's you want that. You don't want them to be just like obnoxious all year round or super mean all year round, but you do want them to be protectful of their babies and of their eggs.
Bubba's lost. We've got doors closed that we don't normally have closed, and so he's barking from the other room.
Yeah, he'll figure it out.
Come on, Bubba. Okay. Big Mammal. I hear him thinking he found his way back out here. Big Mammal asked, ever try rutabaga? I love it myself.
Yes. We love rutabaga as well.
We do.
In fact, on a low carb diet, we use rutabaga as kind of a potato replacement.
Yeah.
And we have grown them. They're slow growing.
Mhm.
They're hard to get germinated, but if you can get them to grow, they're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Angie Norheim asked, what is your favorite method of crop preservation and what is something you want to try first time in the garden? I would say my favorite way to preserve our harvest is canning, even though we do have access to the freeze dryer, and I do like to do a little bit of fermenting. I think overall, I still really enjoy canning for those things that can be preserved well through canning.
Yeah. Well, we freeze dry,
Oh, yeah.
we
Yeah.
ferment. So
Yeah.
we do a little bit of everything, but yeah, I would say canning is probably the best.
I can do a large volume of canning very quickly.
Right.
And, it lasts as long as it needs to until we eat it up. Her second question was, what is something you want to try first time in the garden?
We actually are planning on trying something for the first time this year. Well, kind of. We tried once before, but not very seriously. And that is the yard long beans.
Yeah, they can't see that you're.
Well, because it's bigger than a yard. So like this, but times like 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
The yard long beans, they're like a 3-foot long bean.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try those this year on the trellises over some of our raised beds.
That'll be fun.
I think it's going to be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to give those a real go this year.
We didn't like them the first time. I don't think we picked them early enough. So they were kind of hard and stringy.
And we tried them in an area where honestly we just kind of forgot to water them enough.
Well, also I was confused like what to do with them because I don't think that they can well. And at that time I wasn't really liking to eat fresh green beans. I know you've always liked fresh green beans, and I didn't like frozen green beans, but now I like fresh green beans like pan fried.
Right.
And then seasoned with like a little bit of sesame oil or something like that. So now I'm excited.
Right.
Because I like them.
So we're going to try those for the first time this year.
Yeah. Sarah Reiser is asking me a question. I know this is a bit personal. I love your hair. Thank you. Do you use...
How do you know she was talking to you?
Because it says it's addressed to me.
Well, maybe she loves my hair.
No. We all know how the ladies feel about your hair. Do you use anything that helps thicken it? I don't. And it's not nearly as thick as it used to be when I was younger, but it's okay.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't use anything special in my hair at all.
Right.
Honestly.
Right.
I use a standard shampoo, and then instead of conditioner, I use an apple cider vinegar wash. Yeah. Sherry Murphy Klein is asking, how do I get a patchouli plant from seed or a start or what?
You can get it either way. When we lived in Arizona, we were able to find patchouli starts at a local nursery. Mm-hmm. Here in Missouri, we weren't able to find any. So we did start it from seed.
It was very difficult.
But they take
a long time.
Right. And we actually ordered the seeds on Etsy.
Mm-hmm. I think they came from Hawaii or something like that.
Yeah. And they weren't super cheap. And actually out of like 30 or 40 seeds that we planted, I think we got this one to really grow well.
But last year, Starks sent us a patchouli plant.
Oh, did they?
So I think that you'll have to double check. They may not carry it every year, but they have some herbs. And last year, they did have patchouli.
Okay. Maybe this one was from them.
It wasn't.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Wholehearted Homestead asked, are there any future books or publications in the works? I really love your rabbit book and the garden planner.
Not in the works.
Not anything seriously happening at the moment.
No, we're definitely not writing a book on fishing anytime soon.
No. Not experts in that area. Anna Billings asked, how is your other daughter doing? I can't think of her name. That one that hit the deer.
Samantha.
She's doing
okay. Doing good. She was on spring break all last week. Yep. So she was home. She's back in school now.
We were able to
she'll start Yeah, she started school again today.
We were able to help her get a different car.
Right.
And so she's able to get around by herself again, which is helpful.
Right.
So, yeah.
She's in nursing school, in case, or she's not in nursing school yet. She's a freshman. So you have to apply to nursing school after you get the prereqs out of the way. But that's what she's hoping to do.
Yeah. Not one more inch says, I have a 3rd-year peach tree that is full of blooms. Should I let it fruit or take off all the fruit?
That's for you.
Okay. First, I would see how many of the blossoms turn into fruit. Because sometimes things happen and they drop all their blossoms and you don't end up getting any fruit anyway. So don't be proactive. See what is going to come of that.
Right.
And then after you know whether or not the fruits are going to stick on there, I would say if in one clump there's 3 or so pieces of fruit, I would thin them down to 1.
Right.
Yeah.
It also kind of depends. 3rd-year peach tree. I mean, was it from a bare root, or was it from, like, if you started with a bigger tree, like, that can make a difference.
Either way, I don't think it's gonna matter. I don't think it's gonna stunt it or anything on a 3rd year if you allow it to fruit.
Right.
So just see what happens.
Right.
Maybe we'll get a bumper crop. That'd be awesome. Martina Sanchez asked, where did you buy your drip irrigation?
The drip irrigation, which we don't really use anymore because now we're doing all raised beds and containers, we mostly got from Grower Solutions. So that's where I would look. They have a very good selection of all the things that you need for drip irrigation. And if you use our coupon code LTH10, you'll get 10% off.
Yeah. Rusty Lilac Farm is asking, now that you've been at the new property for a bit, is there anything you'd change with the location of the sheds and the sprout house?
No. No, honestly, because we owned this place for several years before we actually moved onto it and brought all of that stuff over here. We had a lot of time to think about where we wanted those things here. We actually kind of regretted where he had put some of that stuff at the first place. So when we moved it down here, we gave it much more thought. And so, no, I think I'm very happy with where it is here.
Yeah. Cluck Cluck Chickens is asking, how many chickens do you have?
Way too many and not enough.
We have like 4 times as many as we actually really need.
Yes, we have, I don't know, 30, 40. I don't know how many we have out in Waddlesville.
We probably have a total of 30.
30-ish.
Total.
Right. Plus the ducks and the geese.
Yeah. But they lay more than we can eat.
Right.
We share with family and we share with some people at church and stuff. But we've got lots.
Yeah.
Kentucky Bluegrass Living is asking, do you miss your old homestead and did someone y'all knew buy it?
I mean, there's things that we miss. Of course, we put a ton of work into that place. We drive by it all the time because it's really on our way to town. So we see all of the orchard trees, which are more mature than our current orchard trees and things like that. We don't know the people who bought it. It's actually changed hands twice since we've sold it. The people who bought it from us ended up going back to where they came from, and then it sold again. So we don't know really much about the people who own it now.
Bill Whittington is asking, Sarah, will you be doing any more cooking videos? Probably.
Sure.
Yeah, probably, as I feel inspired to do that. Yeah. Just a horsey gal is asking, what type of chicken have the boots with the fur? The hair, the feathered feet. Cochins? I'm not sure. We don't have any feather-footed. I think there are several breeds, I'm sure. I think Cochins are one.
Right. We've never raised any of them.
Maybe Brahmas.
I don't know. We've never raised any of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
sorry. We don't know.
See, there's things we don't know.
That's okay.
There's plenty we don't know.
For sure. XOJMMXO says, have you ever freeze-dried tomato slices and then spritz them with water to rehydrate for a fresh eating tomato? Kind of.
Right.
It's
They're not the same as eating a fresh tomato.
yeah, they're kind of soggy.
Right.
Good flavor.
Right.
But it's a
Now-
better thought than reality.
Now we have freeze-dried like pico de gallo
Mhm.
and rehydrated that. It's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But as far as just slices of tomato, I think we tried it when we first got the freeze dryer and was like, it's
Yeah,
it was a better thought than what it really
it
was.
would be a good flavor on. It would be good flavor.
Right. All right. Final question. We're at an
Final
hour.
question?
I know. Can you believe it? It's been an hour
Let's do
already.
a good one.
They were all good ones.
I mean, like not just an easy like.
Okay, a difficult one. Let's do a difficult one.
Okay, let's do this. I think everybody knows the answer to this though. Langley's Build a Homestead is asking, what's your favorite thing to grow?
Can anybody guess mine?
Let's go to the comments. If you know the answer to that, let's see. Let's see how
see.
many people know the answer
Right.
to Kevin's question.
Does anybody? But not just what, but which one? How about that? What's my favorite one to grow?
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's go. I'm not seeing it yet. Here we go. Here we
Oh
go.
no. Tomatoes, of course.
Tomatoes, my crazy Ozark life.
Tomatoes and
Tomatoes
okra,
and
yes.
okra.
Yes. Cherry
Tomatoes.
tomatoes, we're getting closer. Which
Yeah.
cherry tomato is my favorite though?
Here we go though. They're just
Juliet.
I thought I saw up here. You guys are fast.
Wait.
Big Mammal says Jetstar. That's right.
Right. Big cherry tomatoes, yes.
The large red, yeah.
Right.
You guys are on it.
You are, absolutely.
Juliet, you're on it, you
Right.
guys. You guys are awesome.
So what about Sarah? What's Sarah's favorite thing to grow? Let's talk about that.
Probably pretty easy. Gavin.
Candy corn.
Candy corn. That would be Kevin's, but good try, Gavin.
True. In the good old days, I could eat candy corn with the rest of them. Sarah's peppers.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, there is one particular pepper that is my favorite to grow. We'll see. Anna Schnitzer. I have no idea.
At least she's honest.
That's true. That's true. Okay, which pepper, guys? Yes, Gail. P is first. Ajvarsky. Oh, you guys know it. Ajvarsky.
Right.
Patricia knows it. I do like growing herbs, Georgie. Good
Right.
job. Not a peño. I do like, but the Ajvarsky are really my favorite. You guys are awesome.
Right.
Thank
We
you.
love growing everything, honestly. But yes, for me, if I had to pick one tomato to grow, it would be the large red cherry.
Mhm.
And I think if Sarah had to pick one pepper to grow, it would be the Ajvarsky.
Yeah, but we do like to grow all the things, and I even like to grow things I don't like to eat. I mean, because I just grow them.
Because I like to eat everything.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. We look forward to being back with you next Monday night.
Yes.
We hope to have a very eventful week again here on the homestead. Looks like a few more cows that might be having calves this
That'd
week.
be great.
So we're excited about that. Looks like the weather is going to be nice other than being windy.
So windy.
I know it's going to be windy all week. But you guys, we're excited that you're with us. We're looking forward to gardening season coming up. We'll see you guys next Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Until then, thank you so much and God bless.
God bless.